Morning folks, you are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing along the polderbaan with baby grebes. Awesome. Two baby grebes, mom and dad, and I think I also see some ducklings further up ahead. Although they are now swimming on the right hand side in the cover of the grass that is still not cut. Absolutely zero wind here today. Already warm and humid, clammy. Bit uncomfortable actually. Hopefully the wind is going to pick up because there is zero at the moment. Zero wind. Right now, polderbaan being used for arrivals. Runway 27, Buitenvelderbaan, the secondary runway for arrivals, and Kaagbaan runway 24. And Alsmeerbaan runway 18 right, no left. That's the secondary runway for departures today. Next airplane to arrive, 737-800 arriving from Paris. The old standard livery with the straight line. KLM flight 1402. 16 years old, first flight January 2008. Good morning to everybody who has joined already. Got an overhead airplane. Yeah, that we cannot see against the milkiness of the cirrus clouds right over us. KLM B195 coming in from Copenhagen, SAS, flight 2551, regular Embraer 195. And the next airplane to arrive, the first heavy of the show, KLM flight 644 arriving from New York, JFK, 787-10 Dreamliner. Good morning to everybody who's joined already, and happy birthday to Captain Jerry. We're flying AMS Live logo in the foreground, followed by a KLM 777-300 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa, and behind it we are going to see a 777-200 United Airlines arriving from San Francisco. Morgen! Ja. Lekker weertje, hè?
Nou, lekker hè?
Mag wel wat waaien.
Oh, maakt helemaal niet uit hoor, over 2 weken zit ik in Lissabon.
Oh ja, stuur maar wat zon hier naartoe.
Ja, dat is wel.
Heerlijk!
Ja.
Alvast een fijne vakantie mocht ik je niet meer zien.
Ja, ga je op vakantie?
Ik heb nog geen plannen, nee, voorlopig nog niet. Hey, groetjes! And again, good morning to everybody who's joined already. Welcome to the show. Hardly any wind today. And arrivals at Polderbaan. And 2 baby grebes over here with mom and dad. And there were also some ducklings, I think, a bit further south. Although they swam to the right hand side and are now invisible due to the cover of the grass. Morning, Jinshin. Hey there, Jeff. Morgan, Erik, Servus. Now others who have joined. Good morning. Warm and humid. That's what it is right now over here. KLM 777-300 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. KLM flight 592. The PH BVF, 13 years old, first flight January 2011. Morgen RDW, Captain Harry, Matt, and of course Maria, Marissa, German Monster, Richard. Everybody, welcome to the show. Where did they come from all of a sudden? Well, I don't care as long as they're here. That's the most important thing. Next up, United Airlines flight 968 777-200 arriving from San Francisco. 9 hours 42 minutes on their way so far. 25-year-old airplane, first flight January 1999. And somewhere in the background there should be a CRJ turning in, arriving from Stockholm. SAS. Again, hard to assess where it is. It should be on the glide slope according to flight radar. And I think I see it. Vaguely. Very vaguely. Now, as the CRJ is making its way over here, let's have a quick look at the status quo. In terms of the weather, hardly any wind, like, what is it? 3 knots, 1 Beaufort. I hardly feel anything at the moment. Variable, we're under the influence of high pressure, which is why it is CAF okay, no significant changes. Boring weather in terms of clouds and wind. 19 degrees C already, feels warmer already with the sun constantly shining. Only a few high clouds that are providing some cover. High pressure, 1023 hectopascals. Wind expected to remain negligible today. Runway use, well, that was the old runway use. It's a familiar pattern that we have seen over many days already. In terms of airplanes of interest coming this way, a lot will arrive late. These airplanes, these 747s, will already arrive past 3 o'clock. We have one 747 from Cargolux that is coming, expected around 12:25, and the Orange Pride 15 minutes behind it, 12:40 expected, arriving from the west. So they will land on Polderbound regardless. And yeah, this is interesting. The Emirates A380 expected around 1:01 right now. If it makes up a couple of more minutes, we might see it, but don't get your hopes up too high. Realistically speaking, it is going to land on runway 27, but fingers crossed. Next up, CRJ, SAS flight 1553 arriving from Stockholm. 15-year-old airplane, first flight December 2008. Now, since I only have a limited number of bookmarks in Flight Radar, I don't have one for the PHBVD, but the thumbnail of this stream, of this show, the Sky Team 777-300 is also coming. Outbound traffic. Yeah, and big picture wise, bit of milkiness in the sky, but since there's no clouds in the lower 5,000 feet around the airport, it is kind of okay, because there is no ceiling and no significant clouds. There is definitely some cloudiness over here. The sun currently not shining full blast, but yeah. Is that an issue? Not really. The Schiphol weather, man. Lorenzo also in the chat, morning. Epic R, morgen. Alan, morning. And Alan says plenty of noise this morning, it's amazing. Yeah, got the mic once again attached to the camera. Single digit wind, so the blimp can stay at home. Which means that the mic is moving along with the camera, so you can hear every little detail. Croatia Airlines having touched down now. A319 arriving from Zagreb. 12-year-old airplane. Now, had to delay the stream a little bit as I wanted to make my breakfast a smoothie and reached into the fridge. I saw something had spilled, something was leaking, either one of the cartons of yogurt or milk, but it was a bit messy, so I had to clean things up first. Pity, there were two back-to-back 747s landing as I was setting up. And again, we will see 747s again pretty soon. Now, little appetizer coming in. Embraer 175 arriving from the Czech Republic, from Prague, KLM. And after that, a Chinese A350. Will it get loud? Hopefully. 747s did get loud by both of them, so that would be nice. Here we go. Angry looking Chinese A350 arriving from Guangzhou. Choina Southern Airlines, flight 307. 11 hours and 7 minutes on the way to get here. A350-900, 4 years old already. The B30F0. Let's see, what else is in the pipeline? The next airplane behind it is an E2 Embraer. A320neo arriving from Prague, number 3. Dreamliner from Air Canada, arriving from Montreal, looks to become number 4. Is that a bank robber? Nope, this one isn't. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. And K1 also here. Next up, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Berlin. KLM flight 1772. I have to be really early today. It's one of those days where if I don't press on the label in time, I don't get to see the flight time anymore. What I do see is that this airplane is 2 years old and had its first flight in October 2021. Idle reversers. No, no reverser landing. Not even idle. Not even idle. Haven't seen the firefighters since I arrived on the scene. I'm not sure if they already did their round or not. I haven't seen any activity over there. No. Water is like a mirror. The grass isn't moving. And the chimney smoke is absolutely vertical. EasyJet A320neo arriving from Prague. The OELSP. looks like a low flap setting, or is that just me? Huh. And it's Erwin, officially graduated from elementary school yesterday. Yay! Congratulations. Air Canada in the background. BA. Air Canada arriving from Montreal. BA arriving from London Heathrow. 7879. Behind it an A320neo. Air Canada Flight 900. 7-year-old airplane. First flight December 2016. And Marissa says that Tarom is sending the baby bus. If I recall correctly, Air France did too. I thought I saw it taxiing away from the Polderbaan as I was arriving over here. Angry A350. Right, all the distortion is due to the heat. Let's try that again at the end of the morning, see what the difference is. It's probably going to be substantial. Stretching. A320neo London Heathrow, Amsterdam, BA flight 430. Brand new airplane, first flight May this year. Hey there, Lily. Morning. Now, Plan Watcher, you were next to me the other day. I don't have a telelens. I have no knowledge about them, so I cannot give you any information about that. EasyJet A319 arriving from London Gatwick in the foreground. E2 Embraer just about visible in the background, arriving from Edinburgh. There should be a Lufthansa A321 in the background turning in from the right. Now I don't know if you guys can see it, but I certainly cannot. This A319 is 14 years old, had its first flight in October 2009. the cleanest of flaps. E2 Embraer in the distance, arriving from Edinburgh, the first airplane to arrive, and indeed, Epic R, already 2 EasyJets without a go around. Yeah, amazing. Well, you never know, they might still go around. 2 A321s back to back as number 2 and 3 right now. Lufthansa arriving from Frankfurt and Air France arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Maybe a bonus queen. Well, don't get your hopes up too high, is all I'm saying. Windmills in the background are also standing completely still. They do normally spin at least somewhat with just a slight breeze, so it is indicative of just how calm it is in terms of the wind. Come on. There we go. Well, Erin, thank you so much for your kind words. It's always nice to be here, particularly if the weather is somewhat decent. Now, not completely alone here, there are a few people over here, a few pedestrians, just a couple. Right. This is Lufthansa flight 988, A321, arriving from Frankfurt. 14-year-old airplane, first flight September 2009. Ooh, it is Mama Duck with ducklings that I saw in the distance, and she has gotten closer. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's 8 little ducklings, and the baby grebes still over here, chirping away. Hell yeah. Now you're hearing the grebes, but you're seeing the ducks. Whoop. Right. Let's quickly turn back. We have a 787-10 arriving from Cartagena up next. KLM flight 741. Flight time I can no longer see. It is a year-old airplane, the PHB-KM. First flight May 2023. Morning Sander. Morning Paul. Morning Lee. Morning Peter. Morning Andrea. And all others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. Not a lot of people over here, just a few over here. And further up ahead, there are also a few people standing at the gate. We have a pedestrian, and we have a couple that are walking the dog. And another gathering of birds and one of the light masts. Denny Rules, morning. Next up, KM Malta, arriving from Malta. A320neo, 2 hours 48 minutes underway. 4-year-old airplane, first flight September 2019. Theo, goedemorgen. Got a Lufthansa A319 arriving from Munich behind it, and an Embraer 190 arriving from Geneva as number 3 right now. Narrow bodies galore for the moment, with the occasional Dreamliner in between. The airline of the Maltese Islands. So there's more of them. Malta A and Malta B. That is something I didn't know. Morning, bevroren patat. Morning, Wolf. Hey there, Stacy. Indeed, lots of feathered bird action today. Absolutely. I thought it only happened along runway 24, but guess I was wrong, fortunately. And it's the baby grebes that you are constantly hearing. And Mama Duck and her ducklings have already swum further to the north, over there. Lufthansa and the Starlines livery, arriving from Munich, with Wi-Fi on board by the looks of it. Big picture wise, looking to the southeast, looking to the south, southwest, to the west, directly to the east, the northeast, the north, the northwest. Cloudiness higher up. Not a lot of cloudiness on ground level. Does make spotting the airplanes in the distance a little bit more challenging. First up is an Embraer 190, KLM flight 1930. Embraer 190 arriving from Geneva, 1 hour and 12 minutes underway. The airplane is 12 years old. First flight 2012. Interesting, it doesn't say the month. okay? Is that just one off or? Interesting, interesting. Hello there, Carol Ann. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Morning, Ed. Sup, Maarten? Howdy Hans, goedemorgen. André, good morning. Right. Don't stay behind. Ah. One of the grebes is over there. So maybe that is why. Can I show you? Don't think I can. It's on this side. I'm a bit taller than the position of the camera, so I can still see it, but there is a grebe over here. I think that is why the baby grebe is lagging a little bit. Oh, this is not a good sign. My phone screen is dimming, so that means it is getting warm already. Now, let's see, this is KLM flight 1070, arriving from Southampton, Embraer 175. Tells you a little bit about the subjective heat over here. Even though on paper the air temperature is not that high, the absence of wind apparently already makes my phone overheat a little bit. Makes it a bit harder to read the chat. See, the Paul is also back in the chat. Ben J. Andre asks, have you seen any alligators in the ditch or only ducks? So far only ducks. But that isn't to say that the alligator isn't here. And there's the grebe that I tried to show you but couldn't because it was out of view a little bit. Good morning, Jannis. Good morning, Zolurk. Right, phone screen very dim now. Bit too warm for it, I think. Tarom up next, arriving from Bucharest, baby bus, A318, 16 years old, first flight November 2007. So cute. Now next up, KLM 737-900 arrived from Copenhagen. Well, readability of my screen is now a bit difficult, so I'm going to detach my phone from the camera in a moment after this landing. Trying to lay it in the shadow of my laptop tent. Hopefully it will brighten up again once it has sufficiently cooled. Alright, let's see. Leave that in the shadow then at least. Now looking off flight radar, we have two airplanes that are approaching the glide slope from the east and from the west. Transavia arriving from Ljubljana, 737-700 will probably be the first airplane, and the trash airplane, the Transavia arriving from Barcelona, looks to become number 2. Still a complete absence of wind over here, as you can see. Oh, need to rebalance everything now. That's also... Let's just put the phone back then. Screw it. Here's a little bit of breeze. Hopefully it will cool down again. Get bright again. I think I see glistening in the distance of the Transavia 737 somewhere. There it is. Real vague. Now, in the meantime, a lipstick plane is passing by, outbound. Who's on the tail? Hard to see, don't recognize it. Looks also like my white balance is a little bit coolish. Is that just me? Should it be set a little bit cooler, warmer? Looking like this, I don't necessarily think it needs to change. Right. Next up, Transavia 737-700 arriving from Ljubljana, Slovenia. Flight 6820, 1 hour 28 minutes on the way. 21-year-old airplane, first flight March 2003. The airplane behind it, Transavia 8H, the trash, arriving from Barcelona. We have number 190 arriving from Munich from KLM, that is approaching from the east, from the right in the background, somewhere. Right, Robotics says that this baby 700 is in its final month of service. Is it going to retire? Next up, Transavia flight 5132, arriving from Barcelona, Boeing 737-800. 1 hour 46 minutes underway, the PHHSA, 15 years old, first flight June 2009. Embraer 190 behind it. And if you look more closely at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock of the number 2, you will see the lights glistening of a TUI Dreamliner that is arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Hadi Tom and Hadi Tom. Two Toms saying hi, morning. A little butt shot to boot. Now, still looking at a dimmed screen here. I think the absence of wind makes the phone a little warm. Makes it a bit harder to see the chat. KLM flight 1850 up next, Embraer 190. After that, two heavies. This airplane is returning from Munich, in the south of Germany, Bavaria. 12-year-old airplane, first flight in 2012. Hey, again, not seeing the month. What is that? Huh, odd. Now I click on the label of the TUI and I do see the month. Must be a glitch in flight radar then. Hey there Martin Air, hey there Jane. Morning the Eagle. Here we go. TUI flight 703. Arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. The C and the ABC Islands. 8 hours 42 minutes on the way. 10-year-old airplane. First flight November 2013. And 777-300 behind it, arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. Patrolling. Hey there, Gebema. Good morning. And all others who've joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You are watching Amos Live. My name is Boy, and this is KLM Flight 598 777-300 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. Right, now it is back to the narrow bodies for the time being. Let's see, there is an airplane passing overhead. Little twin jet. Just southeast of me and flying to the north by the looks of it. There's also something flying. Air Icarus is flying near the sun. You can see the contrail. It should form over here. There it is. Air Icarus. Now, obviously cannot see what it is just yet. But we will soon enough once it has passed the sun far enough. E2 Embraer arriving from Zurich. 1-year-old airplane. Again, it just says 2023. That must be a glitch. Is that a double glitch? Is that the glitch that if I don't see the flying time, I also don't see the month anymore? That is weird. Hey there, Ben. Good morning, Ben the man. That's a good name. And that little twin jet passed us by. Triple seven? I think it might be. Could that be a 777? On its way to the United States from Frankfurt or something. Looks like it was. Air Canada Frankfurt to Toronto. Okay, cool. Thanks, Hans. KLM Flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow. So I'm still looking at a dimmed phone screen over here. Hardly any wind. I think that makes the phone a bit warm. Next up, ITA Airways. ITA Airways A320neo, arrival from Milan. One hour 26 minutes underway. EIHOC. Airplane a year old, first flight June 2023. Got the Transavia 737-800 behind the ITA, and behind it Emirates flight 145 arriving from Dubai, 777-300 First up ITA A320neo arriving from Milan. Now I do already see an airplane that is underway to runway 27. Between 11 and 11:40 normally the secondary runway for arrivals opens up. It seems that it is a bit early today. Meanwhile the baby grebes are also coming back, you can hear them. There's one, and there's two. Is it? There's something stuck to it. A branch or something, or was that only just now? It doesn't seem to be attached. For a moment I thought it was caught in something. Happy to see that it doesn't seem to be the case. Right, so this is Emirates. Wanted to say United, but this is Emirates flight 145. It is arriving from Dubai, but this is the 777-300 6 hours and 32 minutes underway. 11 years old, first flight April 2013. Ooh, dinner time for the little grebe. Check this out. Look, 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 look. Little fishy. Down that hole. Right, up next, EasyJet, arriving from Copenhagen. Meanwhile, baby grebe 1 and 2 are waiting for more breakfast, I think. I think Papa needs to make it, needs to make breakfast. Or Mom. Don't know how the division of labor between grebes is, grebe couples, but could go either way, of course. Right, EasyJet A320neo, arrived for Copenhagen, around an hour underway. Airplane is a year old, first flight July 2023, so it turned 1 this month. Oh, see Flores in the chat. Maxa Chisek, Lance. Morning one and all. Bit warm here. My phone also is a bit warm. Still a dimmed screen. We have baby grebes. We saw ducklings, 8 of them. 0 wind here. This is KLM flight 1828, arrived from Stuttgart. Embraer 175, 7 years old, first flight February 2017. Now I don't see the flight time, but I do see the month of the first flight, so random bug that I don't always see the month anymore. Flight radar acting up a little bit. Right, I'm curious. The A380 earlier was expected around 1. What is its estimated time of arrival right now? 1:01 still. Okay, interesting. So we have Cargolux coming in from the west and 15 or so minutes behind it. And all expected around 12:30. The Orange Pride and Cargolux. Those are the only airplanes of interest for today. Jesus is flying from Faro to Belfast and will not be bothering us today. There are more 747s on the way. They are all expected later in the afternoon or in the evening. Iberia Express will be next, arriving from Madrid. A320, flight 3722. Flight time no longer visible, but roughly 2 hours probably. The airplane age, luckily, still is visible, 11 years, and first flight was in May 2013. See that Alan is going again. Has to go and see who he can upset today. that's the proper mindset, mate. Now you go stir things up. See you in the next one, mate. Meanwhile, KLM flight 696 is approaching, arriving from Toronto. 777-200 6 hours and 13 minutes underway. The airplane is 18 years old, first flight March 2006. Grebes, baby grebes need a lot of calories because they produce a lot of noise. You can hear it quite clearly. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen. En Jeffrey, goedemorgen. Gerrit, goedemorgen. Now, still hard to see my chat window because my phone screen has dimmed because of the heat. The air temperature is not that warm, but there is zero wind here. When the sun is constantly shining on the screen, it gets a little too warm apparently. I think my old phone would have handled that a little bit better. There you go. Absence of wind, which is why Polderbaan is being used for arrivals, and the Buitenveldebaan runway 27 is secondary runway. What wind there is blowing is said to blow from the south. I'm not feeling anything. And with the exception of the ripples caused by the grebe family, the water is otherwise calm. Now, Chris Coot also has been spotted. So the ducks, the grebes and the coots are present. I have yet to see Russell Crowe though. Now next up is another E2 Embraer arriving from Manchester, this one. 1 year old, first flight June 2023. After this, an Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich, and after that, something red arriving from Iceland. Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich in the foreground. Something red arriving from Iceland behind it. Really not much else going on here except the grebes in the water, the airplanes, no firefighters, no trucks sampling the ground. Oh no, Chinese triple is on the glide slope for runway 27. Well there. Not Captain Wheelie record length, but definitely coming close. That would be a good idea, Liewe. Release the cows. Smithers, release the cows. Excellent. Now, what time is it? What time could it possibly be? It is an A320neo. Flight time 2 hours and 47 minutes. Ooh, nice. Something passing directly overhead. To the north-northeast-ish. Right in my zenith. Right, see that the chat isn't very enthusiastic today. That's too bad. Oh wait, Maria is on the right track there. There we go. It is playtime, indeed. KLM-esque squeaky clean flap surfaces, as if it had gone through the car wash recently, has been through. Now, up next, an Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels. 26 minutes and 89 nautical miles. The PHEZH, 14 years old, first flight October 2009. After that, it is going to be an EasyJet A319 arriving from Bristol. Now, big picture wise, looking to the south, looking to the west, looking to the east, and back to the north. Good morning, Mike, and good morning, Evan. Still a bit challenging to see everything on the chat, with my screen being very dim now. What you're hearing are baby grebes. We've been hearing them throughout the stream already. This is just one of them. There is a second one. We also saw a mama duck with no less than 8 ducklings swam by. Now this is an A319 arriving from Bristol. EasyJet, 15 years old, first flight October 2008. Food! I want food! keep me fishy. Wow. Must be annoying as a parent to have a baby that is constantly whining so much. I instantly remember why I don't think kids is anything for me. Right, we have an Embraer 190 arriving from Dublin coming in. KLM flight 1136, 15 years old, first flight October 2008. And flying base turning in shortly is going to be another 737 from KLM arriving from Birmingham. Okay, might this be Captain Wheelie? Nope. It did look promising, didn't it? The beginning of the landing with the pitch up. It was also still standing very high on its rear legs, its hind legs. It looked promising. Stacy says Mother Grebe looks so chilled. Angel's patience. Right, back to the 737 and Embraer Fest. KLM flight 1042 up next. Embraer 190 arriving from London City is behind it. Should be turning in from the left somewhere. Hard to see. See that Lucas and Peter, Professor Darshine are present. Good day. Now, still have very much trouble watching in the chat. Flight radar is a bit better visible because it has more backlight, or at least more color in the background. My screen My phone screen dimmed to a low level brightness about an hour ago. I think the phone thinks it's a bit too warm, but that makes looking at the chat particularly, which is against the black background, a bit challenging. Now we have another 777 coming in shortly, and the first Delta A330 of the show also, finally. About damn time. KLM Embraer 190 arriving from London City, and the 777-300ER According to flight radar, flying base turning in. Hopefully we'll get to see it from the left at some point. Not seeing it. I want food, I want food, I want food, I want food, I want food. Hey there, Dave A010. Morning. Dave says, can you do dark mode on your phone? I don't know, it's an S24 Ultra. I don't know what it can do. It can do a lot apparently, but not function brightly when there is no wind apparently. Less than an hour of normal brightness. This is KLM flight 736 777-300 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. 8 hours and 34 minutes underway. The PH BVC, 15 years old, first flight made 2009. Next up, the first Delta A330 of the show. As I was walking up here, we did see, or I did see I should say, an A330neo. It landed loudly, so hopefully this A330 will follow suit. Delta Airlines Flight 136 arriving from Detroit, Michigan, 6 hours and 37 minutes underway. 20-year-old airplane, first flight September 2003. Well, I don't think that dark mode is going to help because the chat background is black in itself. And that is just the side setting of YouTube when you go from, you watch the chat via studio.youtube.com and you use the pop-out window. It is a black theme. I already looked at it to see if I can change that. The only thing changing from dark mode to light mode would be the search bar and stuff, and not the actual background of the text, because that is in the browser. So I don't think that is going to make a difference. If I see correctly, I do see that Paul is also in the chat. Yorkshire Biker, morning mate. Also the cat, morning. I am wearing sunscreen, the cat, don't worry. Hey. I think it has a crayfish. Keeping it fresh for the little one, which is swimming enthusiastically towards the parent. Oh man, we're gonna miss a feeding moment. Yeah. Down the hole it went. Well, at least the A330 made up for it with loud reversers. Right. That's the thanks you get for getting your child food. It immediately goes bug mom again or dad. Hard to click on the subject if the grass keeps moving in front of it constantly. Right, it is back to the Embraers. Embraer 175 arriving from Bristol, 52 minutes on the way. Embraer 190 behind it, 737-800 behind it, Embraer 190 behind it. Right. Now where's that other baby grebe? There were two. I'm not seeing the second one, just the one. Yeah, pump up the volume. It has fresh calories in its system. Man. Embraer 190, German Airways flying for KLM, arriving from Aberdeen. Yeah, 737 behind it. Embraer 190, Embraer 190. It is amazingly quiet here today. If you consider that 2/3 of the country has summer holiday right now. In terms of traffic. Looks like a 777 of sorts. Hard to make out the details because of the milkiness in the sky. KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Glasgow up next. KLM Flight 9. No, not an Embraer, it's a 737. Whoa! With Wi-Fi on board. Ah, there's the baby grebe number 2. The second baby grebe. Little adventure going out on its own. Yeah, the silent one. I also want some food. Can you get me some? Right, let's see. In terms of airplanes of interest, what time is the Emirates expected? Still 101. Still 101. Cargolux is flying over Ireland, expected 12:33, an hour from now. Behind it is the Orange Pride, still expected at 12:40. Okay. Will be interesting to see what is going to happen with the Emirates. Its ETA has been 1:01 p.m. all the time now. Doesn't seem to be making up any time. Remains to be seen if we are going to see it. Now, I'm still struggling with a phone that is basically useless because it is very dim right now. It's gotten too warm after less than an hour already. Now very dim brightness. Another Embraer 190 German Airways arriving from Boshell. 17-year-old airplane. First flight somewhere in 2007. Again, I'm not seeing the month. Right, and now we have to wait. Hey. I think mom got fed up of the constant whining, and the baby grebe has gotten the message. Now, let's see, might as well just turn off the phone for a few moments, see if maybe the heat will dissipate a little bit. Well, it probably won't, the sun is constantly shining on it. No. Just took the phone off the camera. It's now lying in the laptop tent with the screen out. See if maybe we can cool it down a little bit. Will probably only be a temporary fix even if we were to succeed in it. But let's see what we can do. While we're waiting for the next traffic, let's see and check on the weather. 22 degrees C, still cavalcade, still no significant changes expected. No wind to speak of, 3 knots, 104. I'm not feeling any wind at all. That's probably also the reason why the phone screen went dark so quickly. Probably going to see, yeah, Polderbaan will be used for landing, runway 27 will be used for secondary arrivals. Kaagbaan, runway 24, the primary runway for departures. Aalsmeerbaan 18 left, the secondary runway for departures. Yeah, and as said already before, the A380, what it's going to do remains to be seen. Now, for the first time, a few more minutes delay compared to the earlier estimated time of arrival. So that places it in the time slot where runway 27 is also open. So but now, at this point in time, it looks like it is going to land on runway 27. These two airplanes will land on Polderbaan, however, regardless of runway use, assuming of course Polderbaan will be used for landing, but that is going to be the case. Cargolux arrival from Miami expected around 12:33 and Orange Pride now expected 12:37. Now the PHBVD also is still out and is expected a bit earlier. Also seeing a little contrail passing by just north of me. Oh. Gotta put it in the right focus. Yeah, and as you can see, the milkiness that is in the upper atmosphere is interfering with visibility of airplanes passing overhead. Luckily our next airplane is approaching. Oh, and I can really notice that my camera wants to point down with the phone not attached on the backside of it to counterbalance. So let's just put the phone back in its position. It's probably going to remain dim. Oh, no, it has brightened again. How long is it going to stay that way? Yes, full brightness again. for now. For now. Yeah, you're right, Stacy. Can't catch a break. It's either too wet and windy or too hot lately. Yeah, it's 10 months of misery. So many streams I haven't been able to stream. So many days I haven't been able to stream because of wet weather. This month also not the best. Of the 11 days, well, this is the 12th, but today I'm streaming. Of the 12 days that I could have streamed, only 6 I did. This is the 7th. Again, due to weather. This time round, last year, I was already quite tanned because of a few long periods of sunshine and no rain. Not so much. I did stop taking my vitamin D supplements this week again because of the expected weather today, tomorrow, and well, maybe into the weekend, question mark. Umbrella 175 arriving from Cardiff. Alright, so that did do the trick. Screen off and lay it in the laptop tent for a few minutes. It was literally just a few minutes, so curious to see how long it's going to stay on now. Again, full brightness. Normal readability of my screen again. In the foreground, in the background, I should say, KLM flight 1004 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow. 38 minutes on the way. The PHBGB, 16 years old. First flight April 2008. Marissa says runway 27 is closed again. Means that until 1 o'clock everything inbound will be coming to this runway. Question is, what time will the A380 arrive? It's hovering around 1 o'clock, now just a little after 1 o'clock. That makes it a candidate for runway 27 at the moment. Ben says, I think you need a new phone. Well, I'm not going to buy a new phone because this is a new phone already. My old phone did better, but it wasn't as bright. I think that is why it also did better, because the brightness did not go up that high. 400 nits versus, what is it, 2600 or so? Yeah, this is an S24 Ultra band, so latest and greatest, and when there is a bit of wind it does hold up nicely. Only twice now has it gone dark, and that is when there is hardly any wind. And you have to imagine the sun is now standing behind me, the camera is pointing to the north, so my screen is on full brightness and the sun is now constantly shining on it, so that phone will get warm regardless, unless I place something of an umbrella or something behind me so that the phone is in the shade. But then again, if there is wind, and there almost always is wind here, the phone gets cold enough. Now, and we have our answer. The screen is already dimming. Pretty sure that if I keep the camera in this position most of the time, it would get better. Now, Ben says maybe check what's wrong. Well, there's nothing wrong with the phone. This is protection from the heat. I don't think you realize exactly how warm it is right here when there is no wind and the sun is constantly shining. It is on the border of being uncomfortable, actually. And you can see this is something you hardly ever see, that the smoke of the scale of chimney smoke rises vertically. There is no horizontality whatsoever in it. That means zero wind. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Nothing. Niente. We have two narrow bodies on the glide slope already. The third one turning in or at least flying base at the moment, is a 787-10 Dreamliner, arriving from Panama City. Now, luckily camcorders are built to work under warm conditions, and it is still working perfectly. Well, almost perfectly. I did notice a stutter in the zoom at some point in the beginning. Doesn't seem to be there right now. Maybe it needed to warm up a little. Right, back to a dim screen. EasyJet A320, arriving from London Luton. 12-year-old airplane, first flight January 2012. Ah, Lise, also back home again, I'm assuming. Next up, BBN Airlines, arriving from Istanbul, A321. 3 hours and 10 minutes on their way. And the 787-10 behind it, arriving from Panama City. Spijtig. Paul says it looks as though the screen dims on the S24 when the battery temp exceeds 24C. Yeah, well, that is going to be no trouble today. No wind cooling. And noisy. Beautiful Flemish accent. Well, I'm not as well versed as you are. Our next airplane is KLM Flight 758, 787-10 Dreamliner, arriving from Panama City. 9 hours and 27 minutes on the way. The PHBKL, 2 years old. First flight June 2022. Dave says, would power saving mode help with the temp? Not sure if it would. Isn't one part of power saving mode that the screen automatically reduces its brightness? wouldn't you get the same result anyway? Get a dimmer screen. Lower screen brightness and no haptic feedback. Yeah, indeed, Danny already says power saving indeed reduces the screen brightness. Yeah, so that also isn't going to work. Well, normally speaking, there's wind here. There's always wind here. except when there isn't, and that is today. Next up, an Embraer 175, an Embraer 190, an Embraer 190, and a 777-300ER. And behind that 777-300ER, a Delta A330. This is KLM Flight 1710, arrival from Luxembourg, Embraer 175. 6-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018. Next up will be an Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Again, flight time no longer visible, probably 40 to 45 minutes. The airplane is 14 years old. First flight March 2010. Come on. That is absolutely not necessary, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Funds for the parasol for the phone. Well, I think we just have to wait until the wind returns. Should occur pretty soon again. It's usually not wind still that long. Also, Mark, thank you so much for your super sticker. Hippo character runs at high speed, his legs forming a ball-like blur. Like Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you so much for that, Mark. Again, you shouldn't have. Very uninteresting stream today. Now, hopefully it will get a little better when the heavies are arriving. We have a Britty Hopper up next, arriving from Teesside or Darlington, Embraer 190. Embraer 190 long range, used for flights of 255 nautical miles. The airplane is 17 years old, first flight was somewhere in 2007. Again here, not seeing the month. Ah. dinner time. Where is the little grebe? So we have some fresh sashimi. Where is the little one? Yeah. Yeah, you go through all that trouble. Where's that crybaby? Don't see them. Maybe we can pick that up after this landing. Arriving from Vancouver is 777-300 Right, the next landing might get loud, folks. Delta A330. And the grebe is still swimming with lunch in its beak. Where are they? Meanwhile, our next airplane is approaching. Delta Airlines Flight 164 A330-300, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. 7 hours and 28 minutes underway. 17-year-old airplane, first flight October 2006. Nice. Alvin tuning in from Aruba. Morning. Next up, another Britty hopper arriving from Humberside. There it is. The airplane behind it, that is an A321neo Air Oink Oink arriving from Istanbul. 3 hours and 5 minutes underway. And the Embraer 190 arriving from Humberside. The Britty hopper, 38 minutes underway. Embraer 190 long range, used for a less than 200 nautical mile flight. 15 years old, first flight was somewhere in 2009. Let's see, A330 arriving from Bonaire is approaching. Hey, Qatar also coming this way, arriving from Chicago, nice. That might also get loud. No. There is a slight ripple in the water visible. Little bit of movement in the air. It does feel like it is coming from the north. But that's okay. When it is wind still, nearly wind still as it is today, they're probably not going to reverse the operations that quickly. First time around, an agricultural vehicle passed us by just now during the stream with a shit tank, I think. The manure, I think it's a tank where those trucks usually pump in the manure and the tractors can then stock up from that green unit that the tractor is now driving to the north. And they can fertilize the grounds. Yeah, smelly normally speaking. It doesn't smell right now, luckily. Right, this is Air Oink Oink, the A321neo arriving from Istanbul, flight 1251, 3 hours and 8 minutes underway. The plane began flying in September 2022, so it is nearly 2 years old. Has landed. I want food, I want food. Next up, KLM, flight 1020, Embraer 175, arriving from Leeds. 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2017. Big picture wise, still milkiness in the sky, looking to the south. Few low clouds now also in the west, so it's probably no longer Cavoquet. Looking to the east. Gary Grebe is on breakfast duty. And is that mom with the ducklings? Or is that just a group of adult ducks? It looks like the latter. Well, they're coming this way by the looks of it, so we'll see them probably a bit more in detail soon enough. German Airways, flying for KLM, Embraer 190 arriving from Bordeaux. The Red Wine Express, 15 years old, first flight somewhere in 2009, probably January. Next up is going to be an A330. KLM Flight 767 arriving from Bonaire. A330-200. The PHAOA. AAOOA. 18 years old, first flight August 2005. Bugs are bugging me. Right, there's an entire parade of water birds coming this way. We start off with the grebes, with one of the parents over here. One of the little ones, or both little ones over there. Come on, focus. There we go. Now, the duckies are also coming this way. Now more Embraers outbound passing overhead. Embraer, 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 Embraer. Luckily, something else, a 737. This is Sunwing flying for TUI, returning from Ibiza. 737-800. 9-year-old airplane, Canadian registered. And the maple leaf on the fore part visible. Right, the duckies are coming. It's getting a bit crowded there in the water. Up ahead. Grebe family, the duck family. A feathered get together. Ah, Han also in the chat. Good to see you, Han. Well, good to barely see you. Transavia arriving from Olbia up next, 737-800. K1 has been replenished. We have K2 now. Yeah, Embraer 190 arriving from Stuttgart. The next airplane. Harry the Heron also dropping by. Let's have another look at the weather. So, refresh says that it is now 23 degrees C, and indeed no longer cavalcade because of the clouds that we saw on the west hand of us. Few clouds, 4,000 feet. And the wind has reduced to 2 knots, 1 bow 4, 0 wind at all, variable direction. Few clouds at 4,000 feet, no significant changes, relatively high pressure. 23 C, 23 times 2, 46 plus 30, 76-ish. With the total absence of wind. Already before starting it felt warm. Luckily I brought 1.5 liters of vodka with me today to stay hydrated. Got the first liter almost down. The number 2 airplane is a Qatar Cargo 777. Arriving from Chicago. Hopefully it is going to get loud. Look at this. Gary Grebe, the mother ducker. Sashimi delivery boy. Does his best to keep the sashimi as fresh as possible. Food. Look. More, please. Thank you. Right, Qatar Cargo 777 arriving from Chicago, 777 freighter, 4 years old, first flight June 2020. Let's look and listen. Okay-ish. What am I hearing? Oh, it was a BizJet. BizJet downwind leg for a landing. Yeah, where can I see it? Oh, there it is. BizJet on the downwind for runway 22. Alrighty, let's see. It's 12:13. In 20 or so minutes, the 747 and the Orange Pride nearly back to back should be landing. Just curious, what's the ETA of the Emirates A388 107 still? That's not good. That looks like it's going to land on runway 27 then. For a long time it was 1:01 p.m. ETA. Now, obviously, make up 5 minutes and all of a sudden it is a candidate for the polderbaan. Oh, nice. Is that Marimekko? It is. Finnair A350 Marimekko Kivet. Kivet is a couch from IKEA, right? Kivet. Give it to me. Now, speaking of airplanes that usually fly this route overhead, outbound to the northeast or east, we haven't seen any Chinese triples today, have we? What is up? It is so calm and quiet here today. Right, Vueling up next, arriving from Barcelona, hybrid livery, level tail. Combination of the tail of level and the front part of the fuselage, the regular livery of Vueling. Next up is going to be our high carb little friend Choc-y. Chocolate time. Get some chocolate in the house. Oh. It dove in, caught a fish, took off again. You can still see the waves from where the splashdown was. And in the meantime, I think, yeah, this is Mama Duck and her group of 8 ducklings. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the 8 tuplet. Can you call it that? They're coming this way again. Nice little parade of ducklings and greblings. First up, Choc-y. The Leicester Chocolaterie DAPRI Embraer 190 German Airways. Just as old as our good friend the Orange Pride, which is also coming in pretty soon. With bonbons, naughty bonbons. And one nicely looking chocolate cake. Now, does chocolate necessarily give you a big bum? You be the judge of it, but I think not. And here she is, Mama Duck, and the whole squadron. Now, the grebes are also, the coots are also here. One over here, the other one a bit closer by, but already hidden from view due to the grass overgrowing. In the meantime, we have Aer Lingus arriving back from Dublin. Wah, wah. Wah, wah. Well, at least the baby ducks are a bit more quiet than the baby grebes, aren't they? E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Bergen up next. 2-year-old airplane. First flight March 2022. And the bugs still keep bugging me. Get the fuck out of here. Landing in your neck, landing on the back of your head, on your hands, on your camera, on your elbow. Super annoying. Hey, that's good news. Saudia 787 with the Red Sea sticker has a current ETA of 1257. That's the new standard livery, but also with the Red Sea something. I think it's more sticker than anything. At the back of the livery. Hey, Goosey also in the chat. I think, yeah. I still am looking on a substantially dimmed phone screen because of overheating protection. There's hardly any wind, although now I am starting to feel a slight breeze for the first time since I've been here. The phone has gotten warm really quickly and it's nearly impossible to cool it. Means I'm hardly seeing the chat. Lucy asked if there were any pikes also living here. To be honest, I don't know. Given the variety of bird species that you see over here, I wouldn't be surprised if there were pike here, but what is this? I don't think we've seen this before. It's not a... I have absolutely no idea what we are now filming. It doesn't look like a regular coot or grebe or duck. Also doesn't look like a baby something. Well, it's not a pigeon. What is it? What the fudge is this? Marissa suddenly understands why bugs are called bugs. They keep bugging you. Yep. That is exactly why they're called bugs. Also, why Bugs Bunny's first name is Bugs, because he also keeps bugging. Next up is going to be an A350. Also the first of the show, I think. Yeah. Well, inbound. Of course, we saw Finnair outbound just now. Corendon Airlines coming in. World to fly Corendon A350-900 flying between Willemstad, Curaçao in the Caribbean Sea and Amsterdam. Now lying off the coast of Venezuela. This is a long flight, 8 hours and 38 minutes. It's the ECNTB, 2 years old, first flight April 2022. You're right, Marissa. Also the angry Choina Southern in the beginning of the show. Female moorhen. Okay. Moorhen. What's that in Dutch? Anybody know the translation?
Oh, die zit aan livestreamen. Zijn webcam. Hij is aan het livestreamen. Ja. En dan heeft hij het gedaan. Kun jij het doen?
Right, the Cargolux Queen expected in 10 minutes according to Peter. That's good. And the Orange Pride was expected a few minutes behind it. So 10 to 15 minutes or so from now. The PHBVD was also still expected, right? I did see it on the arrivals list, just don't recall when exactly it was arriving. Swamp chicken. Let's call it a swamp chicken. Nice tongue breaker. Right, next up, Royal Air Maroc. Royal Air Maroc, EasyJet, and then Air Transat. Icelandair flight 500 also expected in a couple of minutes. Waterhoen. I thought they looked different, but I am absolutely no expert in birds whatsoever. Hardly an expert in anything, come to think of it. Royal Air Maroc up next, arriving from Casablanca. White House. Casablanca. Isn't that racist? Huh. Royal Air Maroc 737-800, arriving from Morocco, 2 hours and 55 minutes underway. The airplane is 12 years old, first flight November 2011. Bound seat. Zoom rocker once again not completely smooth. Hey, fireworks. That does look like the bird control van. How much heat distortion if we look at the tower right now? If you compare that with in the beginning of the stream, in the beginning it wasn't very substantial. Now definitely more heat wave distortion. EasyJet A320 arriving from Edinburgh. Guess what? Guess what? What? Okay, ETAs, Icelandair 1232, Cargolux 1234, Orange Pride 1241, Sky Team 777 1241. Nice, thank you so much, Marissa. Nice little finale. ETA of the A380 still past 1 o'clock, I'm assuming. Should be approaching the German-Dutch border any moment now, in a couple of minutes. Air Transat A321neo arriving from Toronto. 1-year-old airplane, first flight June 2023. Right, up next, a lot to see. Arrival from Warsaw. Flight 263, Embraer 175, 1 hour 41 minutes underway. And Marissa says that the ETA of the A380 is still past 1 o'clock, so runway 27 is where it's going to land on, more than likely. Air Choina Cargo also tuning in. Goedemiddag. Don't think we're expecting one of your 747s anytime soon, now do we? Well, not a lot to see here. Very polished landing. Yeah, Air China is delayed. Quite a few 747s expected, but in the second half of the afternoon today. Right, showtime is about to begin. Finally, a few heavies. First one in the background already, Icelandair Flight 500, preceded by an Embraer 190 arriving from Prague. And the Queen third for arrival. Although not yet visible. No Captain Wheelie. No screen time. Next up, Icelandair Flight 500. In the new livery, sadly, 767-300, 2 hours and 42 minutes underway, 26 years old, first flight October 1997. Nice little combo shot with the 747 there, Cargolux arriving from Miami, Florida. 747-400 freighter, 7 hours and 58 minutes underway so far. 16-year-old 747. Considerably younger than the 767 in the foreground. What a sight to behold. Wish each glide slope shot could be like this. Icelandic butt shot in the making. Icelandic cool. Right, the moment we've been waiting for. Only queen of today's show. Arriving from Miami. Cargolux. Let's look and listen. Hopefully she'll get loud. Marissa says that the first plane confirmed for runway 27 and Saudia and the A380 are flying behind it, so those are also going to be assigned to runway 27 then. Man. That is one patient mama. And the other one over there complaining that he wants food with dad. Little light snack to cleanse the palate. This is a 737-700 from KLM arriving from Madrid. PHBGM. 13 years old. First flight February 2011. Yeah, it landed. Yada yada. What's this? Could it be? I think it is. What time is it, ladies and gentlemen in the chat? Right. Seems that you guys are also not in the mood. Too bad. Go around time. Nice one. Shut up! Come focus. Right, A319 arriving from Oslo, SAS Starlines livery. And after that, the thumbnail of the show, the PHBVD, the Sky Team 777. Now I'm feeling a breeze for the first time, a real breeze. Also looks like the airplane was battling a little bit of wind. That's interesting. And it is the Oi KBR. Oi! Right, KLM Sky Team livery coming in next. KLM B744 arriving from Lima in Peru, 11 hours and 38 minutes underway. The 777-300 in the Sky Team livery, the PHBVD, is 14 years old. First flight August 2009. Now in 15 to 20 minutes or so, the A380 is going to land on runway 27. After that, it is game over for today. Lisa asks about the Sky Team, what it exactly is. It is an alliance of different airliners that work together. Delta, KLM, Air France, a couple more. And there are several of those alliances. You also have Star Alliance. You also have One World. So you sometimes see the special liveries of airplanes of that alliance come in the One World or the Star Alliance livery respectively. And it's basically a cooperation, basically to reduce costs, which is always the motive, the underlying motive, of course. So you can have a flight that you book via Delta, for instance, but it could be flown on a KLM flight or the other way around. So they basically share the airplane, and some of the passengers booked it through Delta, the others through KLM, and yet again other people through KLM. Also some agricultural activity in preparation. Looks like another spray unit. KLM 737-800 arriving from Rome. Right, little snack. How long will it shut it up? The answer is not very long. Or is that the other one? They're each harassing a separate parent. Right, it's nice to have a stream with the baby grebes. Hopefully tomorrow they'll be swimming somewhere differently. Oh, those poor parents. Shut the food up. Indeed, Lise. Right, Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt. With Welling A320neo behind it, arriving from Valencia in the regular livery with the yellow dot. Well, we'll have to establish if it is still on the livery. Feed me, 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 feed me. Mom is distancing herself a little bit from the kid, seeking peace and quiet, quite clearly. Flipping bugs keep bugging me. Well, first time since I've begun streaming here today, we have a little bit of a breeze. Seems to be coming from over there somewhere. Now, you can still see that the field with the famous Dutch wheat is still not harvested, but it is an entire field filled with it. So much wheat. Big picture wise, mostly blue skies to the west with a few friendly clouds at lower levels. Looking to the south, currently looks like this. The milkiness has reduced a little bit, still more clearly visible to the east. And there is a little bit of diagonality, if you can call it that, in the chimney smoke. First time in a while, a little bit of wind. Probably won't be enough for my camera screen to brighten up again. Next up, BA Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Food, 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 food. Pretty please. Now over there, a bit more calm. What do we have here? Ah, that's an airplane that I also saw last week, but I was too late. Jetlines. Flying on behalf of Corendon, arriving from Burgos. Channel first here. Red, white and blue. That does look like a very cheap sticker, doesn't it? Low budget solution. Very obvious. Next up, Vueling arriving from Alicante. And that other baby grebe is also coming this way. Right, so we have one little bugger over here. And one over here. Daddy? Daddy? Now where is my food? A320neo arriving from Dubrovnik. Brand new airplane, first flight April this year. And the first airplanes to runway 27 already on the glide slope. Let's have a look, see where the A380 is. Shouldn't be too far away then anymore. Okay, vicinity of Kampen. 787-10 arriving from Jeddah in the vicinity of Wisp. Cool. Air France flight 1640 A320. Just about 3 visible airplanes, at least the glistening of the lights of airplane number 3. It is narrowbody fast A320, Air France up first, 2 Transavia 737-800s behind it. The A380 right now approaching Lelystad, will then fly to the southwest towards Almere, make a right hand turn onto the glide slope and then land on runway 27 probably within 10 minutes from now, 10 to 15. Right. Pretty sure I saw the baby bus this morning. Air France sent it this morning. This is a regular A320. Up next, two consecutive Transavia 737-800s. The first one arriving from Malaga, the second one arriving from Preveza. TAP Air Portugal up next, and also a Delta A330 Neo flying base. I think that is going to be the first of the show. Just amazing how quiet it has been in terms of Delta A330s. I think we only saw one A330-300. Sad day when you see more A350s than A330s from Delta that normally you see so very regularly. The only loud buggers today in the water. Now, according to flight radar, the A330 Neo should be approaching somewhere in the background from the left. Though, throughout the stream I haven't been able to see a third airplane turn in. Only when they are established and they have their lights on do you sometimes see them. Also visually not seeing anything except the TAP Air Portugal that is now the next airplane to land. Oh, again, zoom really working. It should. Outbound airplanes passing overhead. There's a KLM 737, or is that an Embraer? Hard to see. I think an Embraer 190 by the looks of it. Right, TAP Air Portugal up next. Flight 668 arriving from Lisbon. Right, two consecutive Delta A330s. The one that you see in the top left, that's the A330 Neo arriving from Seattle, and behind it we have an A330-300 arriving from Minneapolis. And this is TAP Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon. Hey, Yin also was in the chat. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all was well. Delta Airlines A330 Neo arriving from Seattle, and the A380 is approaching Weesp. Okay, so the A330-300 might get in the way? Well, not sure. Let's see. Might be able to film both the A330s before switching to the A380, but I'll have to see. This one at least we can see. Arrival from Seattle, Washington. A330neo, 1 year old, first flight June 2023. Let's look and listen. Refreshing. Now, speaking of Chinese triples, here we have one. Finally. Kermit has also awoken. If it isn't the grebes, then it is Kermit. Right, let's get our frame of reference first. Rembrandt Tower, check. Amstel Station, check. Glide slope should be over there somewhere. Can we see the A380 yet? Negative. Affirmative. Alright. That is still pretty far away. Means we can quickly have a look at Delta, I think. This is Delta Airlines Flight 162, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, A330-300. 19 years old, first flight May 2005. Okay. Captain let down behind the wheel. Only very briefly and lightly did they apply the reversers. Last airplane of the day, number 6 on Flight Radar. 668 people are tracking it, which is a hell of a lot more people than are watching. It was a very boring stream, apologies for that. Also haven't been able to interact with you as I normally would, because my screen has been very dim since the beginning. This is Emirates Flight 147 arriving from Dubai, 6 hours and 26 minutes on the way. Par for the course, normally speaking 6.5 hours at this point in the sky. The A6 EX. Still the standard livery, the old standard livery, or if you will, the current standard livery. Not yet the ribbon tail on the back of this airplane, which is it's supposed to be the new standard livery. The airplane is 10 years old, first flight February 2014. Yeah, and that is about it. It has landed. Time to wrap up. For those of you still watching, thank you for joining me here today. It It was a warm, disappointing day for me. I hope you guys had a bit more fun than I had. Hopefully next time around, more wind, more visibility on my phone screen, more interesting airplanes. Sorry for the disappointment. Hopefully next time better, and enjoy the rest of your day. Also a big thank you for the super sticker and the super chat earlier in the stream. Moderators, thank you for keeping the stream friendly and accessible. Hope to see you in the next one. I'm going to say bye for now and be safe.